Hi, I'm really looking forward to this presentation. I asked Skylar to join us because he gave me some advice in one of our workshops that's really helped me a lot, and I just enjoyed it, and I knew it would be fun to share some of Skylar's experience with you all. Skylar, we always start the same way. You're a store manager for Lassus, one of the really fantastic chain store C-store chain. Where'd you start out, and how'd you end up being a store manager?
So I started with Lassus 8 years ago in January, working on my
Hmm.
ninth year now. I started in one of our stores in Warsaw, and I just worked my way up the ladder there. The reason I heard about Lassus is my mother worked for Lassus for 21 years. So though I've only been employed 8, I've been with the company her whole tenure because anytime they had, family functions, I was there doing everything with them. So
Huh.
it truly is a family oriented company and not just a last name.
Wow, that's so fun to hear. Not just the family that runs it, but the people that work there too. Yeah. What's the hardest thing about working closely with family members though? I mean, we have the similar setup. We got a lot of family in our business too.
So I never worked directly with my mother. We like the closest we were ever in was in the same district. So
Hmm.
I would run like the Warsaw or Goshen location. I went from Warsaw to Goshen, and then she was here where I'm currently at now. But yeah, when she retired, I took over. So we were never directly um, working with each other. We were just, if anything, side by side.
Wow. But the people that were working for your mom are now working for you. That had to be
Yep.
some high
Yep.
pressure in there, huh? Did
Yep.
she give
She
you any
she definitely
advice?
set the bar high.
Ah, no kidding. What advice did your mom give you?
Um, just the good luck, and I mean the summers here are crazy, so just hold on tight, and the rain does stop eventually. So the summers here, like I said, are very very crazy and hectic. So uh, if you're not prepared for that, then it could definitely get out of hand real quick.
Hmm. So summer preparation is very timely. I was just talking to Greg down in Texas, and they have a lot of interstate stores. And he said they're getting ready for summer right now. What does it mean getting ready for summer for you guys?
So we are I would say, one of the busiest in the company in summer for sure. We have a good chance to hit number one pending weeks and
Mm.
months. But we have multiple campgrounds around us, multiple lakes around us, and there's some of the lakes they do fishing tournaments every weekend. So I mean, our it's nothing for us to sell over 1,000 packs of cigarettes in a weekend.
So ordering is different.
Yep, drastically.
So what else besides ordering does it specifically
So
about a lake? What do you do differently for a lake than say a different type of volume of
we
trade?
get, more ordering for groceries, cigarettes, just a fountain in general. I mean, our cup count goes, twice as much in the summer.
Hmm.
Making sure we have our fuel on hand and ready, making sure all of our pumps and nozzles are working. Bathrooms are cleaned and organized to the Lassus standard. And then obviously making sure the team members here are happy and go lucky and ready to greet everybody with a smile and tackle everybody with kindness.
Oh Lord, we could have like 6 interviews on each one of those different things you just listed. So in the summer, do you hire more people?
Um, I sometimes do. It just all depends on the store, or not the store, the situation. Some
Hmm.
people, they just want to increase in hours for the
Okay.
summer.
All right.
And then other times, though it may not be here, we may get help from other stores within the district if they have people wanting extra hours as well. So it all just kind of depends on the year and the situation of the store
Hmm.
itself.
So of all the things you mentioned, which is the one you spend the most time on? What are you anticipating coming into this summer? What are you going to do differently, and when do you start that difference?
Probably order. We focus heavily on making sure we order more. We don't have a very big back room, so we
Mm.
have to make sure that we have to find that sweet spot to where we have enough to get us through to the next order and not have a whole bunch left over for back stock.
So cigarettes you keep behind the counter, so that's not a backroom issue, I assume. Is that right?
No, we have cigarettes are never an issue unless just somewhere out of the blue, a whole bunch of people buy random cartons. But
That's
so at
that's
this
interesting.
location, we have a drive-up window. We Seaside manages it 5 days a week. The Elmos manages it 2 days a week.
Hmm.
So to if she runs into any issues to getting that coverage, and she just comes to me and says, "Hey, XYZ, can you help?" And I say, "Yeah, let me look to see what I can do." And, we tackle it together.
Hmm.
So if there's anything, for instance, that doesn't necessarily pertain to Elmos, I could just ask and say, "Hey, can you guys do this?" And they'll be more willingly to do it. Same with them asking us.
So we just got out of our internal time management thing, and we were debating like how much do you block on a list, how much do you put on your calendar, how much is just common sense. Do you actually allocate time specifically with the other manager? Or is that just a natural part of your job?
Are you asking like a debrief essentially, like we just talk together about the day, or are you asking for a specific question?
I think it's not something every store manager has to deal with, but those that do, even if you have a food manager that reports to you, it's a complication. So it's more a technique about time management. Do you actually make that a list of your day of something you check off, or is that just a
Um,
natural part?
No, I don't. We don't necessarily discuss it. I mean, if there is matters that are important, then yes, we do.
Hmm.
But I mean, her computer is right next to mine, so when I'm in
Okay.
here doing paperwork, it's nothing to just communicate while we're both in here doing paperwork at the same time.
Got it.
But as far as every day, saying from 7 to 7:30, we sit here and discuss the day. No, we do not.
Awesome. So just a natural thing, and it's about building the relationship and basic stuff. You store managers do so well typically. Thank you. Well, I'm going to end with, we always end with a certain thing, but before we go to the end, but I'm going to prepare you. The end is always, what advice would you give to a young person? I'd like you just to hold off on that wants to be a store manager, whether they are now or they're just like you came up through the ranks and it's, a pretty darn good job. Um, so that's going to be where we finish. But before we get there, the reason that I so much wanted to interview you is, we do these workshops and part of my job is to help people learn new things. And, it's a give and take process. I kind of enjoy it a lot, but there are times where I become uncomfortable or I make people uncomfortable. And we bumped into one of those a month or so ago. And your response was really helpful to me. I don't know if you remember that moment. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I could read in your face that it was a little bit uncomfortable. And I asked for your feedback. And you gave me the answer about, taking constructive criticism. I don't know if you remember that moment. If you could tell it a little bit, that would be awesome.
So I don't remember the moment exactly, but I do know because you remind me almost every week that when people give you criticism, don't respond back with emotion. Like, take it in for what
Hmm.
it is, and then after you process it, then you respond. Because I mean, when you fuel a decision with emotion, you're just going to be flying off the handle at every little thing. So
Hmm.
you have to process it and try to put yourself in their shoes and see it from their aspects so that way you can kind of understand what they're trying to say.
I love that answer. That's even better. I didn't realize that was happening. It's not something I was consciously doing, but it's nice to hear. Thank you. Um, in your job, you're you're pretty good at your job. I'm assuming you got pretty low retention. You said you're running one of the top stores. Well, I don't want to put you on the spot like that. Let me say it a different
You
way.
can put me on the spot. It's okay.
Thank you. So if you're if you're allocating a percentage of what you just said about calmly reflecting and interacting versus ordering really well versus doing the checklist versus hiring, which one do you have to pick? Like, hey, this is the one that is like number one for me.
So for me personally, I'm always calm, cool, and collected first. Because if you're not calm, cool, and collected, everything else is just going to fall out of line, and you're just going to essentially you're playing Jenga at that point.
That's a
So
game where the thing collapses if you pull too much
yep,
support
yep.
out. Okay, all right.
So
I
yeah,
like that.
if you're not calm, cool, and collected, everything else is just going to fall, and
Huh.
so that's your base. Is you got to start with that, and then add on top of that. So I try to like as soon as I hit the time clock, my personal life stays out of work, and I'm solely focused on work, and um, I try to handle everything directly without emotion. Because
Hmm.
as soon as you, like I said, as soon as you put that emotion in there, you're going to be shooting from the hip, and everything's going to fly loose.
Hmm. So the people, your interactions with the people, I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm just trying to make sure I understand it. So you're prioritizing the people over the task or the ordering or any mechanical thing.
Yep. Because if you don't have the people, then you can't get anything done.
Hmm.
So I mean, our shelves might be stocked to the brim, but if we don't have cashiers to check people out, then they ain't gonna be moving.
I love it. I'm just going to pause right there. I think that's the perfect thing to take away. Now, but we have to do the tradition here at BandyWorks when we interview. So you see a young person in the store, and they they're not doing something else. They want to make a career at Lassus. Um, what advice do you give them, and what characteristics are you looking for that you might actually seek out somebody, or if somebody comes to you? Both, but two questions, right? What advice would you give them, and what characteristics do you seek out?
So characteristics, they have to be willing um, to do hard things. This,
Hmm.
I mean, this job isn't for everybody, and you have to be willing to, get your hands dirty per se, because not every day is you're flying in the sky. Some days you're in the trenches, just
Hmm.
swimming along, trying to make it to the next day. So if you're not, mentally set for that, you might want to work on that. As far as I think you asked for tips, I believe.
Hmm. Well, what
Um,
advice would you give them? Let's say you
Advice,
got the
yeah.
right person. They like to get their hands dirty. They want it.
So how I train my assistants is to be better than me, be better than what you have, and just build on top of that. I'm a human. I have my flaws. See what I'm, what I flaw or what I am not great at, and then
Hmm.
build on top of that, make it better. And then instill that to your assistant down the road. This is what I am, and then build on top of that, and then just keep getting better and better at everything that you do. That's essentially what I try to be better every day, and take everything as it comes and just build
Hmm.
on top of it.
So that ties back to the thing that really caught my attention is you do seek out criticism. You do embrace that because you're trying to make yourself better. And the second thing is, and this is something I've really tried to do later in my career. I wish I had done it sooner, is find people to work with you that have different strengths than you do. So you actually seek out assistant managers that kind of balance, and you recommend them to do the same thing.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. Is there any other last thoughts or comments that you'd like to share with other people that want to be in the C-store management game?
Don't be afraid. Like though, some of the things that I may have said may scare some people, but it's honestly not terrible. Once you get the surface pain out of the way, it's good. And I mean, working with Lassus has done a number for me. I wasn't very personable prior to
Mhm.
Lassus, and now they kind of, when you're running that cash register, though we only get 30 seconds with a customer, that 30 seconds will change you.
30 seconds can change a person's day, right?
Yep. And that's how I look at it too. Uh,
Mm.
we don't know what people came in, like
Mm.
what their life was prior to walking up to us. So just greet them with a smile and do your best to put a smile on their face and send them back out the door. Um, my number one thing that I did as a first manager in Warsaw, I just did a simple task of pumping somebody's gas because he was having a hard time walking, and he had mailed in a letter thanking me for my service and helping him that day, and it sat with me, and I think it'll
Mm.
sit with me until the day I retire, and I like to remember about it and tell other people that the little things do matter to some people. So
Saint Therese, that's what she said. Do great love in small ways. Yeah, I love it. Skylar, thanks so much for being with us today.
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Bye bye.